Okay, so we're back in game here, and we can see our little fire pit over here. So we'll walk up to this, and again, what we're trying to accomplish here is have a script fire when we're successful in our survival skill, which I'm going to bring up here. Whoops, not our inventory. I want to see what my survival skill is because I have no idea. Oh, it's 2. So we're going to light this fire pit, or attempt to, and see what happens. So lighting fire, and will we make it? No, you failed to light the fire. So because our skill show is turned on, that little checkbox, the survival failure, I rolled a 7 plus my 2 is 9 versus a DC 14. I failed. So so no resting today if I happen to have that code in there. So let's give it another whirl, and we'll try and light it again. Of course, now like I said, I could be requiring an item here. There we go, success. You light the fire, and as we can see, there's our little flame. So our script fired and created a little flame on our fire for us. So that is just a nice visual effect for us. And of course, we look down here, success. This time we rolled a 13, plus our 2 is 15, and against our DC of 14, and our fire is now lit. So there's our flame, and in 30 seconds time, the fire could go out. Now I could have a flag set for, allow rest now that the fire is lit, and make it last for 30 seconds or something like that until the fire goes out, and boom, there it goes. The fire just went out again. So I can do that again and again and again, and there are more options though. I can make it so, the fire pit can only be used when it's not lit, things like that. Just put some extra logic into the code, and some of the other checkboxes that are in the placeable instance window in the plugin will help you along with those. Just read up on those in the manual. And the next scene, what we're going to do is, our next video is going to be cutscenes, simple cutscenes for informational purposes, and we'll go on to showing how those are created. Okay, so we're back in a tool set, and we're going to do something a little different for info. Again, I consider this information exchange. Some may not, but to me it does. And that's simple cutscenes. So what we're going to do, I'm going to get rid of our little campfire here. We don't need that anymore. Really simple to recreate if we had to. This time I'm going to do a little bit of environment here, and I'm going to want to lay a few items. Let's lay a little cave entrance in front of our mushrooms, like so, just for appearance. There, that's good. Now we have something to actually look at. So what a cutscene is basically um, a simple way to pass information on to a player about either the story or about what's going on around them, or what the area around them may contain, if they're entering a new town for the first time or anything like that. So we're also going to get rid of our little information trigger here about these mushrooms. So for this cutscene, it's really quite simple to do. I can actually put it together in just a couple of seconds, but we'll slow it down just for demonstration. In our triggers, there came another kind of trigger, and that was this Legends Info cutscene trigger. So we're going to place this trigger down where our other one was, and just at the four corners of these mushrooms here, so that when a player is about to enter this cave or walk up to this cave, they'll get the cutscene. All right, so what we do here is we select this special trigger, and very simple. All we have to do is once it's selected, we go plugins, fire up our info plugin, and edit a camera cutscene. Now, as you can see here, again, unique scene name. So this will be the Kobold Cave scene, like so. And we don't want this cutscene showing every single time the player triggers it, so we're just going to turn on no repeat. And and we're going to have some messages. So in a cutscene is a collection of camera angles and messages that the players will get. So we're going to, for this little demonstration, we're just going to use 3. As you can see, we can have up to 10 scenes per cutscene. So in this one, we're just going to have 3. Or I don't know, we'll have something interesting here. The cave looks dark and scary. You hear the sounds of barks and growls from inside. What danger lurks in the darkness for you? Okay, pretty simple, silly. But we'll use this just for the demo. So as you can see, we have 3 scenes, which is important. We have to remember that we have 3 scenes. So we're going to need 3 cameras. So that's it. We're done. We hit finish, and it says cutscene updated. Ensure you place your cameras, and click OK, and quit. Now, what we'll notice when we pull over our blueprints, if we go and look under static cameras, we'll see Legends Info, Scenes, and we'll see this Cobalt Cave scene that we've just named, and there's a camera in there for us. So that gets automatically created based on our scene. So all we have to do is take this camera and drop it down 3 times, because we have 3 scenes. If I made 5 messages, I would drop 5 cameras. But we have to remember there's 1 camera per message. So we'll grab our first camera. Actually, one thing that I do suggest you do is bring over your properties for the camera and hit the preview, and that way you'll get to see what the camera sees as you're placing it. Now, the camera placement is a little tricky to do if you're not familiar with it, so I would suggest you mess around with it a little bit till you get a little bit familiar moving these cameras around. And I'm going to place this camera. I do want it a little higher, maybe looking down at the entrance. There. So that's going to be our first scene. And then we're going to grab our second camera. And this one's going to be a close-up shot of the cave entrance. Maybe something like that. Maybe a little lower, maybe a little higher. There we go. And our third camera is going to be looking at the player. So we're going to actually, take this camera and put it kind of at the mouth of the cave, like so, looking out at the player. Now we know our player is going to be probably somewhere around here, standing in there in these 2 mushrooms. So we'll have that one right there like that. So there's our 3 cameras placed. And what we want to do now is just one slight change to each camera to tell the plugin which camera is which. So we said this one here is going to be scene 1 message. So all we have to do is go over, select this one, and go into its properties and change this X in its tag to the number 1 for scene 1. Go to our camera 2, which I believe is this one. Change the X in that one's tag to 2. And our last camera, which is the one here in the mouth of the cave, which we have to get inside to select. Oops. There you are, Mr. Camera. And we'll change you to number 3. And that's it. Our cutscene is complete. Whoops. And be careful of that. That's always a danger of working with cameras, is not knowing what you're doing and making accidental movements on you. So, like me, I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Fixed. So we'll move this over here, we'll save it and go in game and see what it looks like.